I want to start off by saying, David, I lost my speech, so I'm going to just say it from the heart. I guess the cat's out of the bag now that David and Rachel are married. Rachel, David is not the first person that you have slept with in his life.
That did not make
sense. It was me. Me and David shared a room for about 10 years. It was the worst experience of my life. When Rachel moved into Sundance Apartments, I said, what the hell is she thinking? David talks more than anybody that I know. It don't matter what time it is, David is talking. So, I said, for David to get married, this lady has to talk just as much as he does and listen twice as much. Also, David is a lawyer, he's a sports agent, correct? So when you talk to David, you better make sure you know what you're talking about. If you don't, he's going to talk even more. David also is a very strong and opinionated person. It's either David's way or the highway. So I never thought David would find somebody to get married to. So David's known Rachel for about 7 years. That's what he said in his speech. So I'm trying to calculate the math. David and Rachel haven't been dating for 7 years. You know, David's had other women in his life before Rachel. Right? Where am I going with this? David has been scouting Rachel for 7 years. This is how I know David, when he finds something he really likes, for example, myself, when I was born, David wanted to be in the same room as me. There was a guest room across the hall. David chose to be in the same room with me. He invested in me. He wanted to make sure that I was going to have everything in my life to be successful. David was going to be in my ear talking so that I could become the man that I am today. David was not going to let me fall. David scouted me from August 12, 1990. Where am I going with this? David scouted Rachel for 7 years. He was not with Rachel for the whole 7 years, but by God, I had to listen about Rachel for 7 years. She's 5'6". She's athletic. She's gorgeous. David, she doesn't like you. You're not with her. Yeah, but I'm doing her homework. This man did this woman's homework for 4 years. Where am I going with this? When David finds something that he loves, when he finds something that he wants in his life, David is going to get it. Rachel, David has loved you for 7 years. David is my best friend. David talks all damn day. So trust me when I tell you that he has loved you for 7 years. Now, I always thought that David was going to marry me. Because he's always been on my case about everything. Where am I going with this? I knew Rachel was going to be perfect for David the night that we played Monopoly in somebody else's house. I said, in order for someone to be married to David, she's going to have to kick his ass in something that he really enjoys. Now, David's a lawyer, so he tries to persuade his way to make sure that he wins and gets whatever he wants. So I'm sitting at the table like, yes, this is the perfect test. Rachel is kicking our ass in Monopoly. David's sweating. He's talking to Rachel in her ear. I'll take you to PF Chang's. I'll buy you that ring you wanted. Rachel's not budging. David gets mad. He starts cussing at Rachel. I said, this is the end of this relationship. Rachel stood up and said, this N-word is being rude, and walked out. I said, God, David has found his woman. From that day since, I looked at Rachel in a different light. I thought I fell in love with Rachel after that moment of Monopoly. It was brilliant. David didn't know what to do. He was talking to me, was I being too rude? Was I really rude? Should I not have done that? I said, oh, David, you're gonna have to marry this girl. Rachel, in all honesty, I know I joke around a lot. I know I call you Slim Kardashian. I know I say you're not really into the family to this day, but Rachel, listen, I love you. You are my sister. I am glad that David chose you to marry, because I look at all the ex-girlfriends that David had, and he dodged a bullet. Or two. But I'm really glad you're in our family, Rachel. I truly mean everything I say. David is a great guy. I mean, he really does love, cherish, and nourish everything that he really truly loves. And I believe that one thing is you, and now Eli. And I'm excited for you guys' future. And I'm glad that you are here. So I would like to raise a toast. Now don't drink it all, because Caitlin has to speak. So David, Rachel, I love you both. I'm glad that you are now in Hamilton. And let's remember this day forever. Thank you.